Hi all. So I'll be keeping it very short today, and so there were a couple of things which were in my to-do. The first of all, I decided to go through a JavaScript roadmap because I wanted to prepare for front-end interviews. So this is a pretty cool website which I came across, and this is roadmap.sh, and you can see that if you want to practice React, JavaScript, Node, like anything, whatever you want. So I wanted to practice JavaScript, so I came here, and these are the basic things which I covered up today in like 1 hour or 1.5 hours or so. I don't exactly remember, and I have also created note when I was going through it, because uh, we have this, we as a human, we have this tendency to keep forgetting things. So that is why if you just keep on like writing something and then mm, go through it once in a while, then you're there are high chances that you will be able to retain it. So if you guys want to, but I'll just go through it. Wait. So JavaScript is a single-threaded, synchronous, dynamically typed language, which means that single-threaded means basically one task at a time, and synchronous means it executes in the order it is written, and dynamically typed language means the type can change dynamically into when in the runtime. The prime example is that if you see that um, if you define a variable, let's say let a equals to 1 2 3, and you say a equals to, in the next line you say a equals to uh, some sort of name in single quotes, then uh, earlier it was a number, and again it will become, after reassigning it the value of a name, it will become a string. So that is what dynamically typed language means. Okay, so how can you achieve asynchronous behavior? So there are a couple of ways. First one is basically you can set up, you can use callbacks. Callbacks are nothing but inside a function you are calling another function. You're passing a function as a parameter just to access it, just to execute it after some sort of asynchronous code. And then you have promises. Promises are like bit well structured way to implement asynchronous behavior, because this will have some code which will be like it will either resolve or throw some error, or uh, it will be in pending state. Then async await is nothing but a way to implement those promises. And then we have event emitters. Okay. How do you run it? You simply include the JavaScript into the script tag, and then it will execute on your HTML web page. And uh, so the environment where you can run is Node.js, and that is what we call REPL, run, evaluate, print, loop. Okay, so now we can go ahead with the variables. So what are variables? Basically, you can think of as a box. Think of it as a box where you can store something, just say something, because it could be anything like number, string, value, anything. um, Now these variables, there are three type of um, there are three ways we can define a variable. First one is var, then let, the cost. Then they have different uh, scopes. So for var it is function, for let it will be block, and const block again. And for var only we can, the redeclaration is allowed. And then there is TDC, which is temporal dead zone. Temporal dead zone is nothing but a zone um, where the variable which was defined using this using one of this way is not accessible. So basically, if you assign a variable like let a equals to something and you're accessing that a variable before the declaration of that variable, then you won't be able to access it. So basically, if a variable is not accessible, then that zone is called temporal dead zone. So where variables does not have any temporal dead zone, only let and const have. And suppose if you're okay, so this is a very basic thing, like sometimes we fumble up an interview, so I just kept a note of it so that you don't have to mess up these basic things. So say let var a, so if it is not initialized with any value, then if you try to console log it, it will show undefined. But for const a, you have to initialize it with something, otherwise it will simply show compilation error. So what is hoisting? So hoisting is basically so basically what happens is JavaScript moves the function at the top of the scope, at the top of their scope. There is very important. It's not like it put all the function variable or classes to the top of the code. It will put them at the top of their scope, not to the whole code. So keep in mind. And now how many primitive data types we have? We have 7 different type of data types. 7. Keep in mind thala for a reason. So string, undefined null, I kept in a box so that just a sort of muscle memory thing. It will stay in your mind like, okay, there was this box. So undefined null, they kind of signify both kind of same thing. So they are not same obviously, but kind of same thing. So it will stay in your brain for a longer period of time. So string, likewise for big int and number. So both are number only, but big int is like a bigger a data type which can hold bigger values. So string, undefined null, boolean, big int, number, and symbol. Okay, now let's move on to the next page. And non-primitive data type. So object is so basically the objects are kind of a data structure where we allow key value pairs to store data. Okay, now what we can do is we can use type of to get the type of a variable or maybe a function or maybe an object to know their type. And there are some built-in objects like number, math, date, string, error, function, boolean. And suppose if you're using number and you want to do some explicit conversion of data type, then what you would do is you pass in pass float. Okay, now let's see this very common interview questions which arises when we are using this parseInt. So number dot parseInt. So parseInt is a method of number object, and how it works, it reads the value from left to right. So if it is written like 23 minus 56, it will go ahead and read it as like 2, 3, and then it will encounter this hyphen, which is not an integer value. So it will ignore this and it will print 23. And so in the next case, where is parseInt then abc123, so it will show nan because the first letter itself is a non-integer value. Okay, you might be wondering what would be the output of parseInt minus 123. So in this case, it's if it happens on the first letter of the string, I mean if you're getting minus, which is hyphen, on the first letter of the string, then it will be taken as negative integer value. So basically if it is written like minus 123, it will turn out to be like minus 123 and it will be a number. And if it is written plus 123, then it will simply become 123. not plus 1 2 3. Okay, so now let's move to prototypal inheritance. Okay, you might be getting very confused whenever this question is asked in interviews, but this is a very simple concept. So basically this is a feature. Okay, I'm just reading it out and I'll explain it in a better way. This is a feature in JS which helps us to add methods and properties in objects from other objects. Okay, so suppose, I mean, this one example, it will make it so much easy for you guys. So suppose this is an object const animal and the sound is like woof. This is the property, and then we have another object const dog, breed, golden retriever, name. Okay, now if you want to use the prototypal inheritance and set this property like sound into the dog, basically you want to incorporate all these properties or inherit all these properties into the dog object. Then what you would do is object dot set prototype, where you want to do it inside dog. Which object do you want to put in? Animal. So dog will come first and then the animal. Now if you would go ahead and console log dog, then it will return breed, which was earlier there, and then sound, because this property is also added. Okay, so and there is a very important note, which is when we access property or method on object, JS looks for it in object itself. If it is not there, then check prototype. If it is not even there, then it checks its parent's prototype, and that is what we call prototype chain. And if you did not understand, let me tell you what it is. So suppose if somebody is trying to access dog.sound. Okay, console.log dog.sound. So how JavaScript will work? JavaScript first checks if it has the sound property inside the original dog object. If it is not there, it will check for the prototype, the prototype of the object which was injected into this dog object. And if it is there, okay, so sound property we got it. If it is there, we'll just simply console.log woof. So this is how it works. Okay, now let's move on to typecasting. So typecasting basically transfer of data from one data type to another. Okay, and there are different, so basically it is nothing but changing the data type of a variable. Okay, so there are a couple of ways to do that. So there is we can do it it happens implicitly, or we can do it explicitly. So explicitly means we are manually telling JavaScript that you have to convert this from string to number or number to string. So there are a couple of ways to do it, like parseInt. You will pass a string in it and it will return a number. I mean, if that string could be converted into a number, which we already discussed here. So if a string is like this, then it will return not a number. Okay, and not a number is if you go ahead and type the type of if you go ahead and check the type of NaN, it will be a number. It may be confusing that it's not a number, but it is a number type. Okay, so this is explicit conversion. Implicit is like it happens internally, automatically by JavaScript whenever you're trying to do some summation or something. So suppose if you're trying to say 5 plus empty string. Okay, see this example, 5 plus empty string. So this is what we call as implicit conversion. And so there is a thing which is called type coercion. So this happens mostly when there is an operator between two variables, but they both have different type of data types. So one will convert into another and then it will execute. So, and all the type conversion or implicit type conversion. So this is all what I learned today from JavaScript. And yeah, tomorrow also I'll go through some JavaScript and we'll keep you guys posted with this. Other than that, I did some lead coding, and these are submissions which I made today. These many submissions I made today. And yeah, so validate binary search tree. I haven't gotten it corrected yet, so I'm still working on it. And then I solved binary trio in order reversal. And then again I tried again for validate binary tree, and then binary tree maximum path sum, and got it accepted in one go. This one was a hard problem, but there is a pattern in all these three questions. I'm currently working on it, like how to put it for you guys to make it easy for you to understand. So once I'll come up with a proper solution to, or maybe a proper pattern to explain you guys, then I'll be able to then I'll be sharing that with you guys so that you guys can also benefit from it. Yep, soon I'll share the secret. I mean, right now I'm just figuring out how to, like create a general rule, or maybe you can say a template to make it work on all, not all, but TP3 problems. Yeah, so these are the updates. Tried 4 problems, got 2 accepted and 2 I'm currently working on. Yeah, and I had also decided that I would be doing React.js, but I didn't get time because of this. I was totally involved in it. Luckily I started with JavaScript, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten time for that as well. So yeah, this is the update. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.